again. We're back with one more video on the Christmas song by Mel Torme and Bob Wells, made famous, most popular version, Nat King Cole. That was just a little bit of the very short solo Nat King Cole takes on piano, followed by a little guitar solo, very brief guitar solo by Irving Ashby, Nat King Cole's guitar player. And I just wanted to show you that, and then a little later we're going to show you what you can do with that. Nat played it in D flat, so a whole step below what we were doing in previous videos. Previous videos we went through the chord changes and the single string melody, then we went through the chord melody, then we had a little analysis of what's going on harmonically with the chords in the tune. Yeah, Nat did it in D flat. We did it in E flat. Anyway, we'll come back to that in a moment. Okay, so yeah, the idea of using a solo and then incorporating pieces of the solo into your chord melody, solo guitar arrangement is something I wanted to hit on. And then this is going to look familiar from last time. It's just a way of writing out the chords so as to differentiate what key the chords are from. So again, the way I'm looking at this here, it's kind of hard for me to see if you can see what's going on. But basically, the green chords represent the chords in the key of E flat major, which is the initial key of the song. The red are the chords in the key of A flat major, which is where the song goes for the middle section. Now, A flat, in the context of the original key E flat, is the 4 chord. So if you were to play the chords in the key of E flat, the fourth one would be A flat major. Elsewhere in the tune, you know, it very briefly does a 2-5 in G major, which is the blue, and then it also very briefly does a 2-5-1 in G flat major, which is the orange there. Again, I know this might be hard to see, but basically, if you think in terms of numbers, as we said, the A flat is actually the 4 chord in the key of E flat major. So when the song modulates temporarily to A flat major, it's said to modulate to the 4. And the way that it modulates to the 4 is that we have the 2 chord in that A flat key, we have the 5 and we have the 1. So the 2 chord is called the 2 of 4, and then the 5 of 4 going to the 4 chord. And likewise for the blue, for the very brief time that it's in G major, that would be considered, again, in the original context of that original key, E flat major, the G would be considered a 3 major. Okay, so not to get overly complicated, but the blue chords there represent G major. So you would have, in this way of saying it, would be a 2 of 3 major going to a 5 of 3 major going to the 1 of 3 major. And then to get even further out and wacky, the orange listing of chords represents the key of G flat major. And the only way I could think that that would be represented number-wise would be the 2-5-1 in G flat major would be 2 of 3 flat major, 5 of 3 flat major, and 1 of 3 flat major. So you can drive yourself crazy with this, and I've seen different methods. I know Rich Stevenson has a way of doing it, which is a little bit different from the way I had originally learned, but you know, all the ways are equally valid. So let's just take it from another perspective. The Christmas song looking at what's going on. Okay, so let me just walk through the chords very briefly. Again, back to our key, which we've been doing all along, which is the key of E flat. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, back down to 1. Now here we modulate to A flat. This is going to be the 2 of 4. This is going to be the 5 of 4. And of course this is the 4 chord. 1 of 4. Sorry. This is the 6 chord. This A flat minor 6 is actually 4 minor. So 4 minor is a very common thing. You know, in the key of E flat, the 4 chord is always major, except when the songwriter decides, hey, let's take that A flat major and make it an A flat minor. And I think it's also considered an example of modal interchange. Some of these terms crack me up because it's like a sophisticated sounding term for a simple thing, but modal interchange meaning that the A flat minor is coming from another key. Let's just suffice it before I confuse myself completely. All right, so now we're going to continue with the chord changes. We're back to the 1, E flat. Now we're going to, A minor 7 is going to be a 2 of 3 major, a 5 of 3 major is D7, and then the 1 of 3 major. Again, the 3 major referring back to its placement in the original key of E flat. Now we're going to have A flat minor, which is the 2 of 3 flat major. The D flat 7 is the 5 of 3 flat major, and then we're going to the 1, G flat major, 1 of the 3 flat. So you can see it gets kind of confusing and complicated pretty quickly. Then 2, 5 back home in our original key of E flat. Okay, then you'd rewind and you'd play that whole thing again, and now you would come to the second ending, E flat, which is the 1 chord, and then you'd have A minor, which is the 2 of 3 major, and you'd have the D7, which is the 5 of the 3 major, and this time it doesn't go to the 1, the G major. It actually goes to G minor, C7, F minor, B flat. Okay, now heading to the middle section. This B flat minor is 2 of 4. It's the 2 chord in the key that's based on the 4 chord in E flat major. So the 4 chord in E flat major is A flat major. So just trying to give you the nomenclature, if you hear this referred to, you'll have some idea what they're talking about. The B flat minor in the context of this original key for the song, E flat, is 2 of 4 going to 5 of 4, and then it repeats. I've seen it different ways. Sometimes they go to the 1 chord here, but I like it just going back and forth, toggling between the 2 and the 5. And then, of course, it lands on the 4 chord, A flat major. And then it goes to the A flat minor, which is the 2 of flat 3 major to the 5 of flat 3 major to the 1 of flat 3 major. And then this is just in there. I don't really understand the context, but it's a 2-5 in B flat. And then we go to a 2-5, and we're back home in E flat major. Okay, so enough on that. You can drive yourself crazy with numbers. Good to know about, though. All right, so the idea I just wanted to present here was that, you know, I tried to figure out just before I came, I wanted to figure out Nat King Cole's solo, which is a very brief solo on the Christmas song, followed by the guitarist's solo, Irving Ashby. So the thing is, I got most of Nat's solo, but some of the last couple of notes are very high, like kind of tinkling on the piano, and I don't really think I have them, so I kind of just simplified it a bit. The guitar solo is pretty straightforward, so we have that. Okay, so again, just to look in Nat's key, okay, which is a whole step below where we did it, but just to keep it here for a moment before we move it. Here's where I simplified it. Okay, so we'll just walk through that just to make sure you can see what it is. I have a really rough hand-done tab here. I'm not sure how helpful it is, but I'm going to walk you through the notes. You can see I had a couple of errors there that I scratched out. The top is Nat's solo, and then toward the bottom is the guitar solo that immediately follows. By the way, they take the 2 brief solos on the middle section, the B section of the tune. So again, we just get this down. 3rd string, 6th fret, B B on the 1st string 7th fret, string 3 fret 6, string 2 fret 6, string 2 fret 9, okay, it's kind of self-explanatory. 9th fret 2nd string, okay, then we go back, similar phrase again. Okay, now Irving Ashby comes in. Okay, so let's look at the guitar solo in a little more detail. Again, it's pretty self-explanatory if you just follow along. You know, you can slow it down on YouTube. You could also rewind, of course. 2nd string, 7th fret. Second string, 4th fret. And you end on the 4th string, 6th fret. One more time on that, on the guitar. We're on the 2nd string, then the 1st. A little trill. Coming back to the 2nd string. Still on the 2nd string. Go to the 3rd string. Okay. Now, what do you do with that? Except just, you know, enjoy playing a nice little solo by a great musician. Well, the other thing you do is move it up to our key. So, and then the guitar would be. This is our key. Okay, I spoke and I messed it up, but that was our key. So one thing you can do is you can put it in your key that you're working in, the solo that is. You can take it and put it in the key, and then you can put chords underneath the notes, which I haven't worked on yet. But basically, so it's a nice device. It lends some variety to your solo guitar arrangements. You know, if you do the straight melody, and then somewhere in the middle, throw in a little bit of someone's solo, or you could even make up a solo of your own and then use that as the melody for the chord melody of that section of the tune. Okay, so yeah, if you haven't seen the other videos, you can go back and you can learn the chord melody that we did. And also before that, more of a beginner's lesson would be just walking through the chord changes for the Christmas song as well as the single note melody. But I hope you find it helpful. I hope you enjoyed the song and the solos. And let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to comment. Feel free to share the video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Otherwise, getting into the spirit here with the holidays, and try to cover some Christmas music and holiday music until the time comes. So anyway, have a great day. Keep playing. Have fun.